It really does seem like Poe Mill's final days are finally here. In the summer of 2020, it was finally announced that the site was getting developed into affordable so-called apartments, and I wanted to celebrate just what was going to be lost in the community. The ultimate goal is to present these folks as saints and Poe Mill as their sanctuary, to give them agency and to present them not as like misfits or outsiders, but as a tight-knit community. My name is Zach Suggs, and I'm a photographer based in the Southeast and living in Greenville, South Carolina. In January of 2020, I had my first solo show, Well-Worn Path, which was essentially me documenting several close friends of mine moving to various places out west and sort of joining them along their journey in these road trips and trying to find a place for myself to call home. So I made a conscious decision that my next photo project was going to be Greenville-centric. So at the time I thought it was going to be about the swamp rabbit because it's this connecting thread throughout the city that all demographics use. And so I wanted it to be a portrait project celebrating the diversity of the people that use this trail. At the time, I only knew one person in the skate community, Elizabeth. Tagged along with her one day in the summer of 2020. That portrait of Elizabeth really changed the course of my life. I really didn't realize that until like 2 days ago. You know, a lot of it was just falling completely in love with that portrait. It was everything I hoped it would be. I realized at that point that Poe Mill was the project that I needed to focus on. You know, at the time of that portrait, I was very much would have considered myself on the outside of that community. I really knew no one who were like regulars at Poe Mill, but really it didn't take long for just me to realize how accepting and loving and genuine this community is. It was just everything I needed at the time. So I never expected what the show would turn into, and what it has turned into is essentially a timeline anchored by the news articles starting back in 1977 when Poe Mill closed, 1978 when it first sold, 2002 when they predicted the fire that was going to happen, and 2003 when the fire happened. It's interesting to see all of that together. At first, skaters were lumped in with, you know, homeless and gangs, but then as the community built up the space and cleaned it up, the narrative changed. So after amassing these portraits of these people who had grown to be my friends, I approached the Metropolitan Arts Council of Greenville to apply for a grant to put this show together. They suggested I look into starting a nonprofit in case there was just any chance of raising money to contribute to Greenville's already existing, exploratory park efforts. I hope Greenville Skate Park Foundation can be a liaison between the city, the decision makers, people with money, donors, and the skaters on the ground, the people who are actually using the park. Ensure they're well maintained when we do finally get them, that they stay in the public consciousness, and ensure that the wheeled community has a place that they can come to, that they feel safe, comfortable, and just can have fun. This show, there's so much on the walls, and I feel like there's absolutely nothing on the walls. So much work from incredible artists in the skate community, photographers, painters, writers, graffiti artists, even skaters themselves. Like, I have 5 video screens playing different footage, but there's so much more that I could include. I really hope that it can grow into just something much larger and really introduce, skaters in this community to a larger group of people, and really, beyond that, take a moment to reflect on what are we doing with our spaces? I just think it's so sad that we're losing out on such an important place for so many people. Skating and this community in Poe Mill has foundationally changed who I am as a person for the better. So I really just need to celebrate that. Honestly, I don't know what I was doing before I was skating. That is good. That feels good.